Let's see how we go. Try not make a complete idiot of myself tonight. So, hands are still wet. G'day Rave, TCO, MacVision, welcome, Patrick. Alright, gonna try tonight and not make a complete fool of myself, unlike last night. And the story about last night actually became a little more interesting this afternoon. Get these gloves on. What do we got? Alright, looks like YouTube statistics are a little bit slow to catch up. That's okay. How's the week been? Well, it's been a mixed bag this week. But then again, I suppose most weeks are a mixed bag. I need to get a better camera than this laptop camera. It's a little fuzzy. It doesn't really cope with the lighting and dynamic range much, because it doesn't help that the encoding on everything is a little bit weak, even on this i5 5200. And tonight I finally went all out, splurged, and ordered myself some business cards and a banner for the front of the house. A whole $39 with shipping. I didn't realise it, but we have Vistaprint in Australia, it seems, so that was a cheap, easy way out. I suspect the banner will die in about 3 months, but hopefully they'll do the job and stop people from going to the wrong place. Alright. Anyway, tonight I'm going to try and redeem myself with regards to this frustrating Samsung T210, which of course is a Galaxy Tab 3. Now, I don't know who remembers or who saw this last night, and I just noticed my camera's way off the distance, so just pull that in. Come on, there you go. That's better. Now you can actually see what I'm doing a little bit. So last night I took the USB connector off this and we replaced it, and we found it didn't boot. It just sat there and drawed about 150 milliamp, which was very disappointing. Nothing came up on the screen. It was, yeah. So I went to bed very upset about that and tossed and turned and all that. And come around about 5 o'clock this afternoon, I was reviewing the video footage of the previous stream where I had disassembled these to examine what was going on. That was when I had both of them. And I noticed that I actually never powered this one up to check to see if it was alive. So my assumption that this was working prior to me changing the USB port was actually faulty, because in testing it never did come up. So I actually have another fault on this board, and it wasn't because of my less than professional USB port switch. I mean, there's no denying it was a bit of a disaster last night, but it wasn't actually that was the fault. So that's why it was really quite distressing to me, because I thought, I can expect certain things to go wrong in this area if I cook it, but to take out the whole system was just, it seemed a little over the top. G'day Spencer. So what I'm going to do first up tonight is put the connector back on, even though it may never work again. I just want to put it back on, and I've been doing some testing. I've got my 1.8 volts on the coming out of this PMIC, but the support document, the servicing document, isn't really very usable. It talks about certain parts, but you can't actually search on the supplied type of board view that they have there. You have to go in, you have to dig around and look for it yourself, and it's not a full schematic, and you have to zoom in some ridiculous amount of like 600% out of it to see what you're trying to look at. Anyway, we'll work through it, but for now I'm just going to get this back on, and then I have a PC that's dead, which I need to look at. Okay, hi-hat 217, and I've got a runny nose. I think I've been handling the cat too much, so you'll have to excuse me as I resolve that. Alright, I'm fairly sure it was the cat's fault, because she's been sitting on my lap for an hour and a half. She's a long-haired kitty, and every now and then it gets to me. Not very often. Just if I take it a little bit too far. Let's bring this one up. Where am I? I should have rubber grips for this somewhere. Time to break another tab, yeah. Where are my rubber grips? Oh man, I had them last night somewhere. So this is a ridiculous thing, you know. I try to be organised with all my little containers and everything, and yet there's always something that I can't find. Hey Mike. Come on. Don't make me grip it with the metal. Oh man. It's gonna force me to grip it with the metal. At least everything's a fair distance away from the edge. At least this Omnivice has... I don't know if it's really classified as an Omnivice. Anyway, at least this vice does have grooves in here, the V groove. So I can bring it in fairly well. Good. Without having to get too strenuous on it. What'd you say? Rubber grips above the keyboard. Up here? No. I'd hope they would be, but they're not. I don't know what I've done with them. Oh well. And I've got this upside down. I really do need to buy the high temperature vice. Fixing things knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's really not much better at all. No. It's not even going to work. I hate not having appropriate tools for these tasks. Rave, I've been working on Nightmare MacBook that has components ripped off. Oh, which board's that one? Which 820? And unfortunately, because this is a raw timber top, putting Captain tape doesn't really work. What else have I got around here that I can use? Well, I've got some big ass heavy batteries that might work. Or I can actually put this on top. Just half JB welded, 4 of 6 brass fittings and a laptop lid. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 26.95. That's a pretty old one, isn't it, these days? Okay, this is going to be fine. There's a rubber base on the bottom there, so it's not actually going to. It's not a direct impact. Okay, what are we going to use? It's the big beast or the little beast? We need my little shield. Where did I put that? 26.95. I actually don't know the 26.95. I haven't looked at that one. Not because I would have serviced a 26.95 or in fact done service on many MacBooks, but just simply when I've been testing Open Board View, I tend to look through a lot of the files and see how they show up on Open Board View. Yeah, maybe if I go a little crazy with the Captain tape. Where's that surgical knife? There it is. I must say I'll be very pleased once I do get the microscope here. It's extremely frustrating coming from, well, as you know, coming from manufacturing and having all the equipment I ever needed for those particular tasks, and moving on to what we're working on now and finding that I just simply don't have what I need. Very frustrating. And yeah, after this we've got a PC that's come in. I've already upsold the client to a Intel NUC, so they won't be needing the machine again, but I'd like to know what went wrong with it anyway. And I'll be trying to do a series on DD Rescue. That will be an edited video series. There'll be multiple parts, and I'll just sort of go through the different potential issues that we run into, or different types of hard drive failures, I should rather say, and hopefully give a bit of a rundown on how I ended up with needing so many different quirky bits of equipment to do all the software recoveries. Rave, this bench is worth perhaps less than what one of those heat absorbent pads is worth. So I'm genuinely not caring about the bench, in all honesty. I couldn't give two hoots about it. This is a very super crappy bench that cost all of maybe $20. So yeah, not a lot of, how could you say, not a lot of care about it. Okay, hot air rework. I'm going to have to use the hot air again to wick out the slots. At least this is Um, at least this is leaded solder. It should burn the paper if we're lucky, just for a bit of pizzazz. Yeah, that actually works surprisingly well, using a piece of wick down into the slot with the hot air. Looks like I found a use for Chris Long's preferred wick. Spencer, it's probably because this light is being affected by the hot air station. It doesn't have enough capacitance in the LED setup, because it's just running cheap and nasty straight off the 240 volt mains, or 230 volt actually. They changed that a fair few years ago and I still haven't remembered to catch up to that. And anyway, it needs a little bit more capacitance in there to stop the flickering. I was rather disappointed when I purchased this unit to find that it was a 240 volt direct. Alright, so those slots are cleared out. That was nice and easy. Yeah, when it comes to LED lighting, I genuinely prefer to run off DC. Or if they are going to go off AC, for God's sake, at least put it at 10 or 20 kilohertz PWM. Actually higher if they can. Yeah, so this comes out really good with the solder in the slot, wick in the slot technique. Come on. Oh yeah, you can see it's gone straight through, nice and easy. And I barely burnt the paper. Maybe I should have that my new testing system. If the paper catches on fire, I've used too much heat. How's that sound? Alright. Chris Long will be happy. Because, I mean, he really was excited about a few other people using this wick. And don't get me wrong, it's good quality wick. It's just that I think, in terms of where you can use it, is the problem. And my impression is that it would be very good for iPhone, extremely fine pitch stuff, where you got a very minimal amount of residual solder that you need to wick up. But for anything larger, it does seem to quickly run out of absorption ability. I don't know why I'm dicking around with that. I just need to take the shield off and solder it on. I see the camera's on. I'm just going to put the camera back on fixed focus. Unfortunately, when it's in autofocus, it tends to chase my blue gloves too much. There you go, see? Alright. I'm wondering if black gloves would be better in terms of preventing it chasing. Alright, that's looking good. Fire up my Goot soldering station. What have I got on here? I've got the 1.2. Half tempted to put the 0.8 back into action. No. This Goot RX 711 station, it was a very good station for the time, but unfortunately it does suffer the limitation that the heating element is, turn that away, the heating element is in the handle, even though it actually goes into the barrel of the tip, so like it's not just sitting on the end, it goes right in, but it still doesn't have that direct contact. So the Hako type integrated element and tip is a far better configuration. But you know, this Goot, it's been with me for over a decade and it's done a lot of hard work with me, so you know, I like it. But it is light duty nowadays. It's 60 watts, which is probably equivalent to about 40 watts on the Hako. Okay. Let's see, Chuck G, I didn't see you step in. Boots, spinning wheel, sits there, rebuild SMC, flat on the board, doesn't look right. ISL, yeah. Yeah, SMC flat on the board, yeah, that's kind of odd. I mean, I've never done an SMC, would you believe, but as much as Lewis does tend to berate me every time he has to deal with an SMC, or he doesn't much anymore, but he used to berate me a lot. It was only because of the fact that I was there that time, that, and a few of you might have been there too, when he was just trying to reflow an SMC and he accidentally knocked it while it was in the float state, and it jumped one row across on the BGO balls, and we thought, oh, it's screwed, and then we just knocked it back, and it all worked. I don't know how the hell it did, but it worked. So yeah, it was one of those rare, freakish moments that you probably never get to have again, but it was good to be there when it happened. Alright. I need something like, I need a chunk of uranium or something like that to hold this board down. Nope. Not willing to trust that. Okay, I'm going to have to go under the magnifying. Where the hell's my solder? Oh, there it is. So yeah, was anyone there? Was anyone watching at the same time that when Lewis did that, other than just myself? Because it was pretty damn comical. I might preheat the board a bit. That bastard hot air just went to shut off. Well, yeah, I figured uranium because, you know, it's going to have that nice density. And if you get depleted uranium, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? It's not like you eat a bunch of bananas. It's not going to be much different. Hi, g'day, Cryj. chasing capsicum. The Rossman challenge. CryJ, what's your old soldering iron? I'll say this Goot RX 711. It's my first. It was my first proper station. And at the time I bought it, it was $300 odd, so it wasn't cheap even at the time. Mike, what are you? My better conscience? You're right, I should. I will. I'm just trying to get this lined up. And it's not lined up. Okay. I'm gonna have to, oh, that hurt. Get the keyboard out of the way. I'm gonna have to put on the leaded solder and then reflow it with hot air for it to settle back into place in the right thing area, because right now the contacts are just too close. And I need to sort out my poor cooling exhaust fan situation. Hot air, fan. That'll do nicely. Thank you. Villa WP60. Oh yeah, I think I remember those. But is that the one that basically had no temperature control on it? It was just like a blue-black brick with one switch on the front console. Was that it? Oh, wrong soldering station, dummy. Yeah, Chuck G, it's not great. I've got a hydroponic 6-inch extracting system that I'm getting, but I completely agree with your sentiments there. Completely agree. I appreciate that, Mark. No, I mean, legitimately, you're correct. I'm not at all begrudging you for reminding me. Not at all. I appreciate it. I just seem like I'm a bit grumpy at times. Sometimes. Okay, let's burn the curtain. Why not? We can go back up there. Greg M. Sorry, I was outside screaming at clients who do not back up files and then want me to recover files they last used to. Oh dear God, Greg. Oh, you poor bastard. UK rules okay. Hi Paul, I've got a Samsung Note 10.1 that just has white lines on boot. Try to restore it with Odin. I get no petition. Try to restore petition. Ooh. UK rules, I hope someone else in the group can help you there. Maybe fixing things for you might be able to. I think he does a fair bit with Samsungs, more than I do, that's for sure. This, I don't normally touch Samsungs. The only reason why I'm doing this is because it was given to me as a freebie. It ain't my way. Alright. And my hoodie's got to come up again. rework. Just, you can rest there while I add some more flux onto this. Yeah, so a better high temperature holding vise, a better extraction system, and the microscope. I'm just waiting for the payments to come through from YouTube. They should come out around about Thursday, something like that. Let's see. I'm not exactly sure of the timing because this will be the first month that I have had anything to do with YouTube payout. I do a fair bit with AdSense, but YouTube works slightly different. I think YouTube feeds into the AdSense and then come on. Smoke away, smoke away. I'm going to have to look up those Weller stations now while I wait for that to cool down. Let's have a look. What's this one? It's giving me the... it looks like the same old sort of thing that I remember. Yep. I remember when I was working at the cheap and nasty electronics store that a few people would come in and get those, and I think, you lucky bastards, getting a nice station. And I was at that point mostly using those horrible fixed temperature directly off the 240 volt sort of mains power type station, pencil soldering iron things. Yeah. Alright, we need this back again. We're going to need some flux. We have to clean up the pins. Small shop vac placed outside along hose. Yeah, chasing caps in. I do have a shop vac, and I was looking at, you can get those 14.4 volt or 18 volt vacuum cleaner things, and they've got detachable hose and everything like that. But then I found these hydroponics ones, and they're maybe $150, and they do a really good job. They're easy to set up, so I'm going to go for those. I need more flux. Stand line iron that use a closed loop system, electromagnetic. Oh, that's right, and the temperature is set by the tip itself. Is that right? I seem to remember that. I know there was one where the temperature was set by the tip itself and you couldn't really change it. It was some sort of weird configuration. I guess it was popular for some. It felt kind of a bit limiting. I was like, why would I do that? Of course, this is when I was young and didn't really appreciate anything. Got to clean up the differential lines here. It's not good to hear about that, Greg. Yeah, terminal lung cancer. Some real shitty things in life, isn't there? Really, really crappy things in life. Oh, come on, don't tell me. Oh, my magnifying arm won't come over this far because the shelf is in the way. Don't be like that. I might just toothbrush this and get a better look before I mess around with it anymore. Now, of course, the downside of all this is that in spite of potentially getting this on correctly, the device is still not going to work because we do have another issue at hand and I don't know what that is yet. But at least I will have this attached. Yeah, tips record right. Yeah, mid 91. That sounds about right. Oh man, either I got flux in there or resistant alcohol. Got something in there and doesn't want to come out. I've looked at the 203 Hacko. I think it was Paul Dare that was mentioning it as well. The only trouble I have with combo units is the fact that they're combo units. Maybe I've just had bad luck with them, but I've always found them to be more trouble than not. You know, that's looking pretty good now. Let's go get the camera for it and I'll be back in a second. Alright. This is how I get around not having a proper microscope at this point. I use this camera. It's the one I use for taking all my videos that I do editing on. This is how I fix MacBooks when they come in here and need repairing. Having a white underside is not good for getting good light balance. Oh, for goodness sake, come on. Alright, that's a better shot. Yeah, more than likely, if I was going to go tweezers route as well, I would probably end up just buying a pair of, I'll just buy a pair of 951s. I know people are probably going to think that's a bit ludicrous, but yeah, that's probably the route I would take. I like my equipment being independent, oops, as much as possible. Which, funny enough, carries through onto my software type things, where I have a preference to the Linux, Unix type philosophies, where you have your tools do one or minimal tasks but do them well. Okay. I just realised I don't have my image capture script here. It's okay, copy it from my other machine. Aha, gotcha. Look at me, I'm a hacker. Yeah, right. Chasing Capsian. I've got to work out. Capsian. Oh, flip's sake. I'm about to please bro reflow my CPU on my POS. Yeah, I know what that means. LGG4 after having it sent back with extended warranty for 10. Yeah. Well, does that have underfill on it? And here we go, my picture's coming down. Good. Alright, let's switch over to geez, I made a small version of myself there. There we go. Okay, you made enough noise, you made your point. Okay. Okay, so this is how I check out my work. So have a look at, that's probably a little bit dark. No, what's going on there? What? 1 to 1. They're a little bit offset, but the important thing is these two here are not joined, so that's what mattered most. So I'm pretty happy with that. Looks like I got my soldering iron tip in there a little bit. Oh well. They're all connected, even if a wee bit dodgy. But yeah, this is how I check my jobs. Take photos and then examine them. It'd be nice not to have to do that anymore. Alright. Okay, that job is basically done. There is nothing more at this stage that I can really do. I'm certainly not going to torture myself tonight trying to work my way through the less than ideal service PDFs. I'll put it in just in case, but we're a little bit far out from Christmas, so I'm not expecting miracles. Yeah, considering it was a blind soldering job, I'm happy enough with that. If it was something I had to take back to a customer, I might be a little more pedantic, but I think I would probably cause more dramas futzing around with it, trying to get it perfect. Okay. Alright, now I need to set this back to 4.2. I do like my power supply, I will definitely say that. It's nice. One thing that is good about it, I don't know if this is going to show up. I can't really move the camera around an angle. But when you adjust the voltage, rather like if you're on the tenths of a volt character, if you get up to 0.9, it will then automatically increase the the voltage character. So like if you're on 3.9, you go up the next notch, it'll take it to 4.0. Whereas I know some meters they'll just go back down to 3.0 or something like that. So I'm happy with that. It was a good buy. I got that half price. So every now and then you get a bargain. Have you sussed out iPhone board views yet? UK rules? No. Pernov and I do need to spend some time to try and decode that damned binary file format. Unfortunately, everybody who's trying to help out is running into dead ends with that, which is extremely frustrating because I think a lot of people would benefit from being able to use those files in Open Board View. In the meantime, for those who want to use them, they can of course download and utilize the PADS viewer, which I've noticed actually is being supplied on GSM network and whatever that website is. So like you download the big package file and it's got the viewer in there, but it's Windows only. And of course it's not Open Board View. Oh, it helps if you turn it on, Paul. Okay, we're back to 137, 140 odd current draw. We dropped to 100 quickly when I power up, and that's the end of it. It doesn't do anything else other than that. I'm a little sad I didn't test this board with the other screen. So, I don't know. We could simply have a dead screen here for all I know. But it's not doing anything else. I would expect, if it was only a dead screen, I would have expected the current draw to vary a lot more as it goes through a bit of a power cycle. Oh well. Anyway, like I said, we'll leave this for another day. Maybe one day a customer will bring in another one and I'll be able to cross-check. Whoa, sorry. The important thing is the relief of knowing that it wasn't my solder job that killed it. At least, not likely. It was that it never worked in the first place. Let's see. Hey, I should say 7 Oaks. Or 77 Oaks. No, 7 Oaks. And Jabara's online too. It looks like everybody's jumping on. What is this, Friday afternoon or something? What is it, Saturday? Yes. Losing track of my days, everybody. Okay, we don't need that power supply anymore. Next up on the list is a computer that doesn't want to turn on. It's just a normal, boring desktop, but I'm curious to know why. I have to organise my stuff here a little bit. You can go back on the floor. You don't deserve to have a permanent place up here. Unfortunately, there is, as you can see, a limited amount of space on this workshop bench. I will be getting new workshop benches, but all in good time. Get this tube of Lewis Rossman out of the way. I'm sorry, Lewis, if you're ever watching this, please don't think I am being disparaging towards you or anything like that. You know I fully respect what you do. I'm just getting in on the comical side of things. Sharing the message. Almost clean, almost clean. Alright, get my alcohol over there when things get really bad. Crystalline wick, which we will use for cleaning out dirty slots now that we found a use for it. No CMOS battery. Well, I'm willing to consider that option. Particularly if it was a Dell, I'd definitely consider that option. I have managed to accidentally acquire machines through that method by accident. That was a long time ago and I didn't realise that could happen. Alright, I think we're almost good. Don't need my USB charger here. That can go back onto the iPhone repair station. Okay. I might have to even stand up for this one. Let's see. CryJ, watch it power up right up first try. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it did that. Has Lewis ever watched your streams? Not that I'm aware of. He might have, only in the what do you call it? Incognito. He certainly never alluded to it. And I mean, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he hadn't. I mean, the guy's flat out doing his own work all the time. I know he's watched some of my pre-recorded videos. Alright, here we go. This is a compact CQ3000, and yes, I can hear a lot of you all groaning. Alright, right from the other side of the planet I can hear you. These were half decent little machines. Look, it even came with a discrete graphics card. Come on, what more do you want? This one's a, not sure which one that is, NVIDIA of some sort. Alright, where's my equipment? Got my trusty power supply tester, and now that my hands have dried off, I can get another pair of gloves. Yeah, it's about 16 degrees outside and I'm still having to change gloves. So Dells seem to be doing the 3.3 volt rail tie thing. Pop the battery out and the thing's bar stars. Yeah. Okay, 1080 Ti. Oh man, I wish. That'd be nice. I could do something like that. Something to boost this poor little i5 5200. Yeah, I shouldn't say poor little, because I mean that's a pretty decent processor on the laptop. It's just not enough. Okay, so we're plugged in. A power. No, Scotty. Are you kidding me? There's no way it's that. See this? That's the front panel header thing. I'll laugh if it is that. And if it is that, what the hell is it doing disconnected? What the hell? Fixed. Oh no. Are you gonna beep? Are you gonna beep? Beep. Why aren't you beeping? Why aren't you beeping? Talk to me. Who the hell pulled that cable out? I should check to see if this person has a teenage son. Um, I need a VGA cable. I know I've got spares, I don't know where it is. The reason why I say a teenage son is because I get a lot of machines in here that have been tweaked or modified, or something's been done, and the kid generally doesn't own up to it. And I open them up, and it's like, oh yeah, it looks like someone's been in here, and the parents are going, no one's been in there. We've never opened up the machine. And you often find things like memory sticks have been taken out because I don't know, maybe they're going to trade them with their mates or something. Maybe they get better ones, or they're trying something better. Uh, that's ridiculous. Oh well, this person, I didn't. I'm going to say I didn't even end up giving these people a diagnosis. I've repaired this machine in the past. They just said to me, it's getting old, we're going to just go get a new one. So if you can get the data off, then we'll be happy. So, oh well. Yeah, interesting. And I just didn't bother to check to see why it wasn't booting up. I just sort of grabbed the data, and I thought I'd come back to it another day. I mean, this week's been pleasantly busy. So there you go. Pro Turbo modded, yeah. Reset has a jumper on it. Yeah, not this. Yeah, there is one in here. That's good old Joyce. I didn't talk the customer into a new system, but they just opted to go for it because, like, I mean, they know that this machine is pretty old. Interestingly, this is the second machine this week that has taken that route, as in customers bought it in, instead they just choose to go straight to a new one because it's getting old. Well, that's a cracker. Because the last thing I replaced on this that I remember is the power supply, and that power supply is less than 12 months old, so that's good. That's going to be one that I can just steal back out of here because, once again, good customers here in the local country town, they let me keep all the stuff that they don't want anymore, that they don't have use for. So who knows? I don't think I'll turn this machine into anything in particular because it is, I don't know what CPU this is. Let me go get the VGA cable and find it. Oh, I've got DVI. No, we'll go VGA. Where are you, VGA cable? Ah, hanging on the ceiling? Seriously? Alright, give me 2 minutes, I'm gonna get a drink and I'll be back with a VGA cable. Alright, I'm back. Took a little longer. Had to go check on the cats. They're all locked inside at the moment, but still wanted to verify that they're all doing fine. And of course I had to say hello to my wife, who was in the middle of doing writing, so she was like, yeah, get out, get out. And unfortunately I have to use my second input on this screen. There's my Ubuntu stick. And I need my keyboard and mouse. Where are they? Seriously? Where did they go? Okay, it's number 2 mouse. Oh, interesting. Well, that just booted straight up on its own without me telling it to. I'm not sure how to change the inputs on this one. No, yes, yes. There we go. I need to get another screen. I'm thinking of getting one a little 18-inch or something like that. What's this? No. It seems like it's... Oh, g'day IT2 and ZX. Seems like there's something else to this as well. It wasn't just that power. We've got a boot, but... Well, actually no, we don't have a boot. So it wasn't just that simple. Maybe someone was... maybe someone was dicking around trying to fix it themselves. Which is fine. Would have been nice if they told me though that they pulled out that power line thing. Oh well, doesn't matter. Jabara had a Pentium 2 300 slot 1 for a long time. Oh, slot 1. Was never a fan of the slot 1s or the slot A for AMD. They always misbehaved. Oh, thanks. Thank you. I think the biggest reason the DX4s seemed like a letdown is because they were really only a tripling of speed. They weren't a quadrupling. Weird, I just sort of flashed then, I don't know why. I must have your issue, Bentley. Spencer, sorry. Oh, g'day Chris. Chris, I found a use for your wick. Thank you very much, and it will be a very useful use. Basically, when I was trying to clear the slots out for where the USB socket goes in, I found with hot air and cut a sort of an angle on your wick, and then I can just sort of drop the wick into the dirty slot with the hot air, sucks it right out. Works great, thank you. Too late ZX, already did it. Hey Pianov! Seems like everybody's here, we're having a party. And I'm the one doing all the work. Alright, so what are our bets? CMOS is out, so anyone want to go for that, or who wants to go for it being the graphics card? What else have we got? We could have RAM issues, but I gotta admit I'm really not putting that high on the list. Or, let's see. If you pull memory, it should be, but that's the theory, yeah. I used to have an honesty discount. People still lied, honestly. Spencer, are you telling the truth there? Or do you miss out on your discount now? Drink some of me. It's party time. Let's see if it beeps without the graphics. Alright, let's find out what's going on here. This is called wasting your time. Because really, I mean, this machine's worth of all of maybe $20 right now. But Saturday night, I'm in my mid-40s, and I'm entertaining people on the other side of the planet. And it's 1:30 in the morning here. The beeper... Oh, we've got a beep. That's a different sort of beep. That was like one beep after about a minute and a half. Is this the model with the flaky south bridge? Might be, Chuck. Here you go. You guys can all search for it. The motherboard is M2N68. So it's M2N68-LA. That 2 could be a Z, but who knows. We only had that one beep. That's all we've had. I mean, I'll happily drop kick this to the curb, but it's fun to see why it's not working. That means you're still hip. Oh man. Put on a red nose. What else is there to fix? Patrick, funnily enough, I've got a shuttle machine that didn't come up properly for some reason. It's another one where I haven't bothered to diagnose. The person just said, upgrade me to one of the little machines you were talking about, and that was the Intel NUCs. So they just coughed up the cash and moved straight to a NUC. Fortunately, it's Windows 7, so while it's a pain in the butt to get it on there originally, I'll preload some USB 3 drivers for that for the NUC onto it, and then drop it into the NUC itself. I'll meet you at the hippie club. Yeah, it's called the hospital, where everybody's getting hip replacements. Beep usually means the CMOS reset. Alright, thank you. I was trying to think where I put all my batteries. Ah, there they are. That looks awfully familiar. Yeah, that is one of my... When I serviced this the year before or whatever, I already had replaced the battery. Oh well, we'll see what happens. No harm resetting the RAM, I agree. The only reason why I'm being slow and dicky about this is because I want to make sure I know exactly what went wrong so people can decide whether they won their bet or not. Alright, that's still not fixing it. Let's go for RAM. Yeah, I should check those PCI connector. What do we got here? There's 2 gig sticks of PC3, DDR3. So it's not exactly that. where's my flippin'... There it is. Hey Chris, what's the computer doing? Powers up, but doesn't boot. It won't even post. No post. There you go, how's that? Like I said, it's probably going to go into the trash, but I thought it'd be amusing to see what it might be. I really don't care either way. I got enough of these sort of junk machines in my spare room. I don't really need any more. Does it have a card reader on the front? Might be the only reason why I might keep the case, is sometimes it's handy to have card reader on the front. Alright. Okay. Yeah, that's right. We started out as no power, and it turned out that the front panel 10-pin header was delightfully disconnected. Someone else has been meddling. There's a few wear marks on the graphics card, but not burn, just wear. And if it is wear, then it'll probably come off this time. Notice it didn't boot this time, didn't auto start. Check only one slot. Hey Slake. Well, we'll see. Oh. Come on. That booted. That was a boot. That was a boot. Aha! Looks like it was a graphics card. Ah, come on. What happened there? This is why I want a different screen. Just a small, compact one that'll still do... If that was the on-off switch pull. Come on. A small, compact one that'll still do HD. I can get them down to about 18.5 inch size, I think. Definitely 19.5 inch I can get them. There we go. Alright. Let's see what this machine is. I mean, other than a piece of outdated junk, but yeah. Right. Oh, no kidding. That's because you don't have a internet connection. Okay. And we have an AMD Athlon 2 X2 255 running at 800 megahertz. That's hilarious. It must be governed down. Surely it's got to run faster than 800. And yeah, that's interesting. We are only showing 2 megs of RAM, 2 gigs of RAM. So maybe it is a faulty stick too. Oh well. switch back. AMD isn't it Sempron as opposed to Sempron? But yeah, not that it matters. Let's see. Is the BIOS space on the drive? That was the pain of all things. No, I don't think so. I don't know. Fixing things for you. Throw it. Yes. Trash can that shit. Yes. I'm with you guys on that. I'm kind of curious about what's going on with that RAM, but honestly, I'm now at the point that now that I'm happy that it actually functions, I can throw it into the trash. It's kind of sick, messed up mentality there. It's a native Windows XP machine. Hey, that reminds me. Maybe there's a genuine Windows license on this one. It's still running, and I'm just pulling all the stickers off. It's a Windows 7 Home Premium official certificate. Oh, that would be worth more than the machine would be worth. So I'm gonna scrape that one off and keep it and add it to my big collection of acquired Windows 7 licenses. Now, these days I don't tend to use them for Windows 7, but rather they do mean I can jump up to Windows 10 for some customers. Okay, I'm pretty sure that should still be fine. In fact, let's check it. Let's do some real electronics here. $3. Actually, you're a little low. Oh no, wait. Yeah, you're 3 volt. You're good. Hey, man. Yeah, it's DDR3. It's got a Windows 7 license on it, and supposedly 4 gigs of RAM in it. But it was only reporting 2 gigs in Linux. So what I'll probably do is I'll take those sticks out, and I'll put them in another known working machine and then run memtest86 on it and see what comes up. It could have been that it might have been faulty RAM in the slot that brought the machine down, and then someone went in there and started fiddling around with it, trying to get it to come back. So, who knows. There's a point where you decide that was a fun little waste of 10-15 minutes of your life. Put a film 2x4. I don't think I've got any X4s around. I do have some CPUs. I used to collect them in a box. I don't know what I've got in there anymore. I might have a look. Where are you, CPUs? Fairly sure these are mostly Intels. Mike says, not a trash bin box. Alrighty. Well, it's definitely not you. You're a Intel G620 1155 socket. I don't know what that's good for. What else have I got? No, I've got an i7 860. That's no good. What do we got here? An i5. I have no idea what i5 this is. This is some sort of Celeron, I'd guess. What are you? I genuinely don't know what this is. It's got pins on the bottom, so it can't be too good. 2006 something 2.2 gigahertz, I'm guessing. AW 80577T 4400. I have no idea what this is. Like I said, it's got pins on the bottom, so yeah. Mike, what are you putting on those for hard drives and things? Because more often than not, I get machines like this, but the problem tends to be what to give them for a hard drive. Because a lot of the time the hard drives are on the verge of dying no matter what's in there. This is another one of those socketed pin zero insertion force ones. Another 2.2, 2 meg cache, I'm guessing. Yeah. Core 2 Duo, maybe. I don't know. Well, I'll read out what I've got on here. So, yeah, bring down this, have a look. Ow. It says AW 80577T 6600. So 2.20 slash 2M slash 800, so I'm guessing 2.2 gigahertz, 2 megs cache, 800 megahertz, yeah, something like that. And the actual Intel code is 5942A022. That's probably enough for you guys, I think. Anyway, I seem to have a couple of those. Athlon XP chip. Oh, these are all Intels. I'm curious to see what this i5 is. I'm guessing it's either a first or second generation. I can't imagine it being anything more recent than that. I mean, it's got pins too, so it's definitely of some sort of vintage. 64GB solid state drive makes it usable for something. Yeah, well, that'd be fine if you could get 64GB drives for like $39 or something, which would be, yeah. And last year, around about now, I think it was, I was able to get 120 gigs for $55, and I thought that was a pretty good deal, and I bought a bunch of them, but now they're up to $77, and that's too much. Because by the time even if I don't really make a huge amount of money, by the time you mess around with them, and then you deal with the inevitable endless questions from people, it just isn't working out to be any worth it for me. I mean, I'd love to be able to just sort of like go, here you go, $100 and have this machine, but it just doesn't seem to work out. Okay, we've got no markings there, so whatever it is under this here. Here we go. Sorry, what was that? Yeah, it'd be a T, not Q, I think. Crap. Anyway. Yeah, I think this is first gen i5 520M, so it's a laptop one. Are they any good anymore? Are they worth anything at all? Should I just bin these? I don't know why I bother to keep them, because I've got a whole bunch of laptop boards which have still got their processors stuck on them, and I just haven't bothered to check. That said, I do have a i7 Toshiba, an 870 Pro 870, and that is one hell of a nice machine. But I think I'm going to get a board for that. The Chris Long, this is one I was telling you about before, and said I should really get another main board for it. It's the one with the PCH fault causing the slow SATA transfers. But yeah, these first generation i5s and i7s, I don't think they're worth much, or worth keeping at that point. I could be wrong. I don't really pay a lot of attention to the market for that sort of thing. Where'd my toothbrush go? There we go. I use defraggler to check the hours on the hard drive. It's done a lot of hours. I don't use them. Okay. I'm on a Q6600 for this HV sitting on my feet out there. I've tried selling these machines, like just the carcasses without hard drives and things like that locally, but I find most of the people, if anyone's capable enough of installing their own hard drive, they're usually capable enough to realize that it's not worth buying this sort of stuff. Usually. Alright. We'll clean this sucker up. Maybe I should just eBay it. Like new, only partially abused. Oh man, I got crap on the pins. That was an idiot move. There we go. Thankfully it comes right out. Anyone remember the pains of like the 486s and things like that? Trying to get them into those sockets, especially if they weren't zero insertion force sockets. Or trying to get them out, and you'd have to use those Intel supplied, they look like aluminium rakes, and they're about that wide. And they had all like, it was just a comb sort of thing, and you'd get two of them on either side of the CPU and pop it out. Still end up bent pins on that. Yeah, how does one refurbish a CPU? It's exactly. So we took it out, we gave it a wash. Ta-da! It's refurbished. I'll just put in here it's an i5. What did I say? 520, I think. Well, just look at it, Paul. Look at it. Yep, 520M. Anyone in Australia want an i5 520M? Looks like this one came from an Acer 5745G. Ah, well that was fun. Definitely don't think I'll have a Q6600 anywhere. I'll check my other logic boards, see what I've got, but I have my doubts. Usually it's just from the laptops that I'll pull this stuff out. Oh, hello Amy. Been a few days since I've seen you. I hope you're well. Okay. Let's see, should I keep going? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. And as usual, the morning self is going to hate the evening self for being such an asshole. I do have the shuttle that I need to... I don't need to see what's wrong with the shuttle because, like I said, the deal is done. But I suppose we can have a look and see what's happening to it. I think I'm going to break down and build an eGPU setup for my laptop. Results seem promising. What's the eGPU for, Chris? Okay, I'm just going to get this shuttle machine. Gaming desktop graphics card with Thunderbolt connectivity. GTX 1070 desktop card hooked up in an external enclosure. That's something new for me to hear, Chris. So now I'm going to have to Google that when I'm finished here. So obviously they've decided that bandwidth's not an issue there anymore. And by the looks of it, I had my suspicions that this might have been a faulty power supply. So let's have a look. This one's even got an IDE CD-ROM drive. I'm not sure what's in this machine. Do not like that form factor. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I agree. I mean, I don't mind Mini ITX. I use Mini ITX for a lot of my stuff, for my data recovery machines, whatnot. But that shuttle format, it just seems a little bit pain in the arse-ish. Okay. Oh, what the hell? How am I supposed to test that? Seriously? That's the only length you're giving me? I can't test that. Clip it out. So my internal Quadro K1100 won't cut on anything other than video stream rendering. Yeah, Chris, I'm struggling with this i5 5200. I thought it would do a little bit better, but it's fine. Well, OBS is fine doing desktop stuff, but certainly when it comes to video rendering, it gives up. On the desktop stuff, funnily enough, though, I'm perfectly fine using the lowly Pentium on my G3420. So it's sad that I've got this great big gap of requirements. Crikey. Amy, is this your fault? Did you design this one? Come on. This is going to be like mega dangerous. Oh well. I'm scared. So Chris, you're getting close to 1,000 subs yet? Because I would have thought you would have picked up 100 or so from Lewis this morning. Okay, by the way, this power cable is disconnected. I better get the wire stretcher out, yeah. Let's hope this sucker doesn't pop. Well, it's seriously pissed off with this power supply. It does not like it one bit. Everything is low. Everything is... What? No, you good? Amy, this is right up your ballpark. Don't let the angry pixies out. Yeah, damn right. Well, Amy, everything came up low there. Normally I just sort of have one voltage sinking low. That one, everything was low. So that would make you think that perhaps the primary, what is it, the 12 volts that it produces primarily, and then everything else is tapped off that. You probably don't need the P4 connector, only one 12 volt rail on this power supply. Yeah. I subbed 2 times to my own channel. Chris. 9:35. Alright. If anyone enjoys watching micro soldering and stuff, and lots of cussing, and other people breaking things off screen, then you definitely want to subscribe to Chris's channel. He has some good long. Funnily enough, I just realised, yeah, that last time he has some nice, enjoyable long videos. And like the rest of us, he doesn't edit out his stuff-ups. That's because he doesn't have any stuff-ups. Yeah, Chris, I've done my bit. Looks like I owe you only $199 now. Depends on the layout. You should have a 12 and 5 directly from the transformer on the secondary. 3.3 comes from 5V. Okay, that's interesting because 5 was showing low, 12 was showing low. They were just all showing low. At least that I could see. The nice thing about wearing these gloves is I can sort of risk touching stuff. When I'm wearing gloves, I'm like Voldemort touching Harry Potter. I'm like, I can touch you now. And of course, then there'll be a tear in my glove, and bam, I'll get hit. All right, we've got some really. It's interesting. Here we've got some interesting soldering going on. It looks dark and brown compared to the rest of it, and we've got a really. You're not going to see this stuff. I'll turn on auto focus and bring it up. Touch a cat. Yeah. Yes, mica drop tests everything. PWMIC bootstrapping properly. Yeah, I'm not really sure right now. So, okay, let's have a look at poorly color corrected. In other words, no color correction. Come on, you can do it. I've noticed this camera does not like electronics, board layouts, things like that. It's happy to focus on a finger if I put it there, but because I'm not going to put a finger there. But it has a distinct distaste for anything angular. I'm not sure why. Anyway, yeah, it almost got my finger there. There's a bit of a discoloration there, and there's a whopping great big amount of discoloration down here. So I'm not sure what's going on. Did something pop? I can't see anything on the plastic protector on the bottom. It just looks like soldering rework as opposed to something detonating. There's a whole lot of rework looking stuff in here. It's almost like this is a refurbished power supply or something. Focus, you fuck. I don't even know how Abe does that. I have never heard him say it. I guess I'm going to have to go and watch one day so that I can be part of the cooler crowd and know exactly how to say these things. Unfortunately, I do not have Lewis Rossman's gift of being able to make fairly good imitations of most people. Clean the carbon off and reflow. Rehop, bro. Yeah. Amy, I can't be sure if you're kidding or not. I'm just looking around for something physical. Yeah, what are you? You look kind of like you look like you've had your guts blown out. Hello? Have we got a winner here? I don't know. I'm gonna get my camera. so I can share with you all, since we don't yet have the microscope. Like I said, that's coming, that's coming. Yeah, maybe it's not so bad. Just looks a little glossy to me. But in fairness, the whole bloody board looks that way. Sniff test shove? No, I haven't detected anything. The hangover cure. What was his hangover cure? Was it something to do with acetylene? Yeah, I think that might actually just be flux. Crusty, nasty flux. Pure oxygen, oh man. Yeah. Not exactly sort of not exactly the recommended cure. Usually the better way is just to find a friend in the hospital and get them to stick an IV and fluids into you. That usually makes you feel better fairly quick. 3/4 of an hour on the IV, you'll be right. Oh, you weren't kidding. Okay. Perhaps a lip test. Greg. Blam! Yeah, that would be really nasty. Alright, Amy, I'm going to do that. Scrub off that carbon. It's probably not going to really displace very well with... Oops, just splurting everywhere there. It's a little rude. I do like these containers, but when I bought this one I didn't get the anti-splash head on it, and as a consequence it does tend to splash a little bit. What the frickin' hell? Well, that's a hell of a mod. This thing's definitely been reworked. There is damn it, you can't see. I'm gonna have to show this up. This is a cracker. Okay, hopefully this works. No, come on, show up. There we go. Right in the middle of the screen you can see two 1206 resistors joined together side by side, and there's a blob and a little jumper wire going between them to another blob on the other side. What the hell? That's an interesting mod. 5V SB, okay, standby, okay. Pianov, I didn't check. Okay, Greg, we'll see you next time. Is this power supply from a Dell? No, this is from a shuttle. AC DC power supply is something I really want to learn about more. I understand the basics of workings, but my limited diagnostic. Yeah, I'm the same actually, Chris. It's common they do that after the fact. Great. That's really what I need to know. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to use my spudger and start. Now, if we hear any explosive noises, well, at least the spudger will handle it. Okay, I can smell something a bit funny there. And it isn't what I ate for dinner. It's Chinesium cheese grave. Cheese grave. I don't know, cheese grave kind of seems better. So would that be a case of they modified the design after it come back from a refurb, or they realised they had to change that before they even sent it out in the first place? It's kind of funny because, Shuttle used to pride itself as being extremely good quality stuff, at least at one stage. We'll give that a bit of a touch up, and I'll try the probably design defect on the layout that they fixed. Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Pianov. Rave, yeah, it's an ex-customer one. It's funny, this week I've had two of these situations. The customer doesn't care for it anymore, but I'm just sort of, they've upgraded to a NUC, and I'm just sort of curious as to what the hell went wrong with this power supply. Like with Chris, my switch mode power supply, particularly at this level, is not so great. I'm fine with your little buck and boost converters that you get in most machines, but when you get up to this AC stuff, I confess to being profoundly apprehensive, with good reason. I mean, even though I've got my RCD safety switch and things like that, the 230 volts we have here is enough to kill you pretty quick, or at least maim you enough to make you wish you were killed. So yeah, because at least 110 volts gives you a bit of a chance. Geez, I'm going to be glad when I finally get all my equipment sorted out. What's the matter, bro? Ain't no go. What's going on? You're good? You're good? You're good? You're good? Did I accidentally switch you off? What the hell? What's going on? It's because of reverse polarity, that's why. Nice. This fan must have a integrated diode, polarity protection diode. And we're off. Yep. Do I have ultrasonic? Yes, I do actually have ultrasonic, but only for phones. My ultrasonic is not powerful enough, not big enough for a typical laptop. I can probably just barely fit a Mac laptop in there, one of the smaller ones. What the? Hello, power. Power, heat. Come on. Okay, where was the other two? Over here. Nice, short that out. What the fuck? You're not even work. I think first thing Monday I'll have to order that hydroponics cooling air system. This is getting ridiculous. Alright. Hmm. Well, I think learning how to repair and modify, well, yeah, how these things work, as I said, would be quite a lot easier if it wasn't, if there weren't fatal consequences involved in getting it wrong. I know I should invest the time and all that sort of stuff into skilling up for this sort of thing, but yeah, I don't know. Been zapped enough times for my own stupidity. I'm not sure I trust myself to not have another shot at it. Okay. Love you. You're using like you're using one of those cheap Woolworths home brand sponges. Oh my god! I think, and I've got in my cart from one of my suppliers a new set of sponges for uh, this particular holder. I probably really should switch over to the brass cleaners. Okay. We'll have a better look this time at what voltages are running at what. Okay. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see that, unfortunately. That's interesting, it's stabilized. Still can't see that? No, no good. Yeah, that's stabilized now, Amy. It's still a bit glitchy. 3.3 is at 3.4. 12, number one line is 11, well, that's a bit low. 11.7. 5 volt is 5.2. Minus 12 is 11.7. Plus 12, second line is 11.7. Interesting, it must be running off the both same. 5 volt standby is 5.1, and PG, what's PG? Power good, 380 milliseconds. So I don't know if it's anything I did or whether it's just the fact that I moved it around, Amy. It could have been that carbon build-up. There we go. What's this? I see Mr. Robert King's in here. Let's see. No, you wouldn't feel. There, Rave, I certainly will not give back power supplies in these sort of situations. The only time I do is if it's a distinctly clear bad cap situation. But even then, I must admit, I'm still rather apprehensive, and it's only if it's a particularly quirky power supply, something that's a custom job or something like that, or I can't get a reasonably priced replacement. But 99% of the time, it's just a situation of replace it rather than repair it. Alright. Well, that was interesting to see where that went. So it seems to be behaving there, but not well enough. 11.2 would be considered low, but it's okay. Plus, I would say these things can't be anything better than 5% tolerance. So, yeah, you add the 5% of this on top of whatever the acceptable tolerance range is for these, and well, it was at 11.7, So with 300 millivolts down, anyway, it goes up with the load. Okay, alright, I see what you're saying, Amy. Yep, I understand. Once it's actually got something to work with, it gets its switch moding sort of a little more away from the extreme. Yep. Alright. Don't you love those jobs? Take it apart, do nothing, it works, and don't know why. That sounds like my source code. I had that happen with the Verizon Ellipse tablet. Yeah, with my source code, it's often I don't know why it's not working, and then it works, and it's like I don't know why it is working. It's like can't win either way. Oh well. Alright, well I'm thinking now it's 2:30 in the morning, so it's time for me to probably wrap up. The Samsung T210 Galaxy Tab 3, that will probably be something I'll work on in the background a bit, because I really don't know what is actually wrong with it. It could simply be a display, in which case I need to find another display, and I am definitely not going to open up the second one that was in here, which is the one that was for the customer and works. I think I'd be asking for trouble there. What is going on outside? We have a motor car show on over this weekend, so people with all their custom cars, sort of whatever you want to call it. And unfortunately, sometimes in the wee hours of the morning, they decide that no one's going to notice that they drive around with their loud music and loud cars. Ah dear. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether I could trust. Well, I'm not trusting it for now. It did still have a few complaints on the startup, but I'll put it all back together in the shuttle case and see what happens. Like I said, the customer doesn't want it anymore, and I really don't want it either. But it'll be interesting to see if we can get it to run, and I'll just say anyone want a shuttle case, they can come and grab it. Yeah, driving around 2:30 a.m. in a country town, why not? I often get drag races on the road out here, because we have about an 800-meter run up the road, and it goes uphill slightly. So they start out inside the front of the house pretty much, and because it's all dark around here, pardon me, you can tell if anyone's going to be coming over the hill. So they just sit there and wait for the right moment, and then have their little drag race up the hill. Yeah, sorry about that, Mark. Oh well. Yeah, closing up. I need to go finish off a bit of paperwork in the office, and so anyway, thanks everybody for sticking around and keeping me entertained while I sort of did all this sort of thing. This is the other thing why I like to just sort of toss these, because we've got to put all this back together, and sometimes it's easier to just grab it by the lead and throw it in the trash. I do feel bad about that though if I do that. I don't like the environmental impact. Hell, I have a hard enough time using paper napkins, because I think, just as a tree that got processed and went through a lot of trouble, and now I just used it once and I'm throwing it away. So it does tend to narc me a bit. Alright. Okay. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next time. Once I find my mouse. There we go.